the genius. And Moira did a Facebook event, some of you recall, back at the beginning of the month, and they called it Say Boo to the Flu. And they got, zillions of people on and all kinds of, they had a couple of comments where they had like 43 comments on there and all that. So Susan has put that all together for us. She gave us a document with all the posts, with the even some of the pictures that she posts, and so next week when Katie and I are going to be out of town, our guest speakers are going to be Moira and Susan and Stephanie Bruce, whose PV right now is over 4,000.
Whoa. And
this is her second month from developing a business. She and she's done it almost entirely on Facebook. So one of those is a downline that she will be appointing this month. But she did 2,000 of that herself, almost entirely through Facebook. I mean,
great.
That is just. So I said, I think we'd like to know how you did that. So she will be our guest next week as well. So that's going to be a very special session. So we have some pre-call things we want to go over, Joe, right?
Sure.
Around MindWorks.
Right. Because we were all issued a challenge at Shackley Live in Long Beach by Marie Shriver, who kind of put Roger, I think, on the spot, but it was rather cute. He doesn't get upstaged too often, I don't think. But anyway, the challenge is that for every bottle of MindWorks that is sold, there will be a donation made to brain health research. And through that, we just are very grateful, because it's something that I think almost every family in America has had to deal with at some point, or probably will.
Yeah.
And I was so just impacted by some of the things that Maria shared at conference about how it affects a family that's dealing with someone who, just in the first few months of what it can do, it can devastate their finances. It's really, it was really touching. So
it was very much so. And so the company has set it up that through November 30th, we can have people joining free with MindWorks by buying a pack of 2 bottles for $99.90. And later on in the presentation, I'm going to share an idea from Linda Causey, but she has now sold, I think she told me something like 80 bottles of MindWorks herself. And she's going for 100. So,
wow.
It's amazing what people can do.
Well, all you need to know is one person who has used it, and they tell you the results that they've gotten. And I will tell you something interesting. We're going to show you some collections for brain health today, and today's a very interesting session. We're going to be talking about how to generate 1,000 PV anytime you need it. And we just took like 3 different collections of products, but we wanted to do brain health as one of them. And I realized when we were putting that together that many of the people that we speak to about MindWorks are not on Shackley products yet. They're not using vitamins. Many of us who have been using Omega Guard and B complex and vitamin D and taking protein and things that are really healthy for our brains. For us, we do notice a difference. I mean, I sure did, but it was much more subtle for me. It wasn't until I had to think of the name of Hans had a movie on, and it was this movie star, the new movie stars. I hardly know any of them. I never read People magazine. I don't know any of that stuff. And I remember the name of this movie, Val Kilmer, for heaven's sake. And I know, where did that come from? And I thought, I wonder if that MindWorks is really working. Yeah, and because I started paying attention to the way I could recall names and words and things like that. So I think for people who are not even on those other products that are very important for the brain, they may begin with MindWorks, and they're probably going to see a big difference at first. And when we add that other just little tiny package we'll show you of the other products for brain health, I think they're going to see yet again more improvement. So this whole arena of brain health, I think, is very exciting. Okay, so then we have more news around that. Go ahead, Joe.
Free shipping extended through the end of October. Was it the end of November?
Yes, I keep forgetting to change.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's actually December, or at least there's a place on the website that it says December.
It is
because
December.
I had this conversation. We're like, why are we all so confused?
I am changing
because it
right
changes.
Now. Yeah, I'm changing it right now.
And I think they did that to support us with the Dr. Phil thing, to give us something to run with.
Yeah.
So,
all right,
we're
so
very lucky.
Sponsoring somebody
Lisa.
with one of the product regimens, they will get free shipping through the end of the year, which is great. That is such a nice addition to be able to offer to people. And then this isn't a challenge really, but the incentive for generating 25 sponsoring points in either, well, if you did it in October, November, and or December, you will receive a $250 gift card from Tiffany's or a choice of selected Tiffany jewelry just for generating those 25 points in any given month, and you could do it 3 times. So,
and I think I have to jump in here. I believe that the only regimen that they extended to the end of December is the MindWorks. I think all the other regimens end in October. Okay. I just didn't want to get everybody all excited. And then they'd be mad at me.
See the fact checker here. Okay.
Yeah, well, I've screwed up before, That's
why it takes the village. Okay. Right.
And this is just a list of the different product regimens that people can sponsor with.
But take a look at those and get familiar with them.
Yeah.
Because especially now with the free shipping, that Get Clean one is a deal. The free shipping is up to $20. So, I mean, it's just they buy it now, and they'll have the things in there they'll have for a year. So that's a very good deal. But even the Shaklee 180 kits, those are a good deal too, because people are starting to think about getting into holiday clothes and just losing an inch or two before the holidays. Wouldn't that be great? Just to have your clothes actually fit since you haven't worn them since last winter. And then of course the
Infusel.
And then Infusel, because your skin starts getting funky in the winter. Exactly. So get used to these. They're really very, and the foundations, the first one, which is the Vitalizer and the new creamy vitalizing protein. That's a great starting place. A nice price point on that. What is it, $99, Joe? I think something like that.
I think
dollars. It's a great starting point, and free shipping. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. So it's a wonderful time to be talking to people. So thank you, Shaklee, for supporting us with all those.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then here's one of my favorite quotes I came across the other day when I was going through some of our previous slides, and it was from Ralph Waldo Emerson, who reminds us what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters when compared to what lies within us. That's a good one to have.
That is.
And remind us that we have a lot within us to offer. And then we've got our Dr. Phil slides.
Yeah, the week of November 17th. MindWorks is going to be featured, highlighted somehow on the Dr. Phil show, and we're all really excited about that. Now, viewers who watch the show, they're going to be offered a show special. That's the regular 2 bottles of MindWorks for $99.90, free membership, free shipping. The thing is, though, is that is available to all of us right now to offer people. Yep. So our thing is, don't wait until the Dr. Phil show. You can start talking to people now about this, and then tell them, get started on this now, and then you can see what is going to be said about it on the Dr. Phil show.
And it's a wonderful reason to call people now. And we've got a couple of dialogues we'll give you in a couple minutes here that you can use, and it's just a lovely conversation to have with somebody.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to qualify for the Shaklee leads, because those people who order because of the Dr. Phil show, those people will be assigned to leaders in the field. And you have to make director by midnight tomorrow. You have to have a personal website, sponsor at least 2 people personally in any of the 3 months, August, September, October. And you have 1 day, actually, to do that if you well, 2 days. And have your unique email on file with Shaklee and be registered for Cleveland, which all of that you can do at the Member Center. And that will allow you to be put into the pool of people, leaders, who will be receiving Shaklee leads.
So that's just the same thing again on the other.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
And then.
That's just kind of neat.
Yes, I happened to stumble upon this the other day, but those of us who register now online for one of the regional conferences in either Chicago, New York, or Long Beach will be receiving a free canister of Shaklee Vitalizing Protein in the chocolate flavor. You have to attend on Saturday. You have to register ahead online, and then you'll get this. I think that's a fabulous incentive.
Oh, that's a $40 product.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing.
Yeah.
And it's also yummy. But it's interesting. We all who have been in Shaklee are so married to the protein products that we already have, and we love them, that I must say I wasn't all that receptive to the idea of why do we need another protein product. But then I got that one, and so I thought, well, I'll open one up. I got to use it and taste it, and I really like it.
It's really good. I know.
I know. So now I put a scoop of that and a scoop of the Shaklee 180.
That's what we do, too. Yeah, it's yummy.
Yeah. But if you haven't already registered, do so now. Get your team members, online. Get them registered.
That pays for your registration, actually, right?
Yeah. Easily.
Hey, that's a great way to look at it. Right.
And so that brings us to today's session. Lisa, get us started.
All righty. Well, welcome everyone. We are so excited to have you join us today for our session number 9 of the Teaming Up Fall 2014 training session. And we have some really good stuff today. I'm really excited about it. We're going to talk about strategies to generate 1,000 PV, and they're really good, so I know you're going to get a lot out of it. So our objectives today are going to be discussing these strategies anytime we want or need 1,000 PV and being able to teach others to do it, right? So we're going to talk about the strategies, how it works. We're going to look at some product collections and I think some real simplistic or I think clearly focused ideas of health topics that we can, I think, communicate to people in not such an overwhelmed manner, if you would look at it that way. So we're excited. We're going to talk about dialogues and invitations and closings and just really some great ways to focus on a couple of collections and then grab that 1,000 PV because it's out there.
It's waiting for us.
Waiting for us, that's right. So is Katie on?
Katie.
There she is.
Can you hear me?
It's you.
Yes, there she is.
All right. So why is it important to increase from 2,000 to 3,000? There are several reasons. One of them is you can qualify for the new Directors Conference when you accumulate 18,000 OGV within any 6-month period, the first year after achieving the rank of director. And that is an incredible time that Shaklee flies you and a guest out to the San Francisco area where you can tour the facility, but you also get to go to a winery, and it's just an incredible experience that will change your whole passion for Shaklee and make you even more excited about sharing Shaklee with other people when you get to see the ins and outs of Shaklee. And also to increase your income by about $350. So when you have 20% of 1,000 PV, it's $200. Plus you get all that price differential of about 15%. So that would add an additional $150 on your paycheck. So that would increase your income by $350 by moving from the 2,000 to 3,000 PV mark. Also, to provide a cushion to maintain director rank. And this is so important because we all know what it's like when you're a new director and you're anxious and you're trying to maintain it. And to to have that cushion of that 1,000, you're not going to be nervous and trying to, at the end of the month, that panic sometimes that sets in. When you have that 3,000 cushion, it really helps us to have some leeway there in the month and not be panicked at the end of the month. And also,
right, it's a good thing.
Not that that's ever happened to any of us.
Oh.
And to create a pool of new people to meet, and some of whom may become distributors, and to join your business team, and then also to repeat orders from your efforts in creating 1,000 new PV will continue to generate income for months and years to come. So remember, this isn't just a one-time, let's get to 3,000. You are developing customers that continually reorder, and as we talked about last week with the residual income, it always amazes me after just doing this for several years. I can't imagine 20, 30 years doing this. The people that continually order from me every month since the very first few months I've been in Shaklee. I can't even tell you how much income that can bring when you have a loyal customer. They say now, if you notice that the statistics went up, the average Shaklee user, it used to be 17 and a half years, and now they calculated that it's over 18 years. 18.3, I think, is what it is. So that's pretty amazing, and I think it's only going to continue to go up.
Yeah. Well, and one of the other things I think that are so significant about getting yourself to that healthy, strong PV base is then when you raise up leaders and you promote them out, you're not in jeopardy, and you don't have that panic of feeling like you've lost so much because you've got a good foundation. So you're so right. That's very good. Okay, so as we fulfill our mission by helping people be healthier, and we lead with teaching people about health and products, and we really are, I think, inspiring and empower people to be healthier, and we connect them to Shaklee products and options, our PV automatically increases. It really is the after effect of doing our job. So we've created collections today to talk about different focuses, to communicate different ways that people can get results, and different, I think, concepts that we can work with. And we've given you word tracks, and so we're going to talk about the PV that comes with those collections and show you really how it adds up. So there's no guesswork, so you really see how it works. And I love this idea. So you can see here the universal law of nature. So when you create greater good, it will return to you tenfold. And we know there's actually scripture that talks about casting your bread upon the waters and it returning to you. But here's really what we want you to know. In Shaklee, we have this wonderful giving cycle that is a part of life. And when you give and you impart things to other people's lives that help them be healthy, you get a return from that. And so you want to be mission-minded, I think, and be focused on giving to people, because that's going to come back to you, and then in return you're going to keep offering it to others. So
nice.
Good point, Lisa. Nicely said.
Thank you. Katie.
So we can create what we like to say are product collections that will get you to that 1,000 PV extra mark. And one of them, and this time of year, especially as we head into cold and flu season and viruses are going around, I cannot tell you how often I am hearing on Facebook a mom or someone saying about the flu, or about hand, foot, mouth is another virus that continually goes around. So for adults, if they were to be on vitamin C, Nutrifuron, and our probiotics, that would generate 61 PV just there. And that's just the basics, not even counting all the other things that would be really beneficial for their immune system. And for a kid, the Optiflora.
Oh, I gave you a mini collection that's a 50 PV-ish, and then a larger collection that's like 100 PV-ish for each one of them.
Yeah, so an even better collection if they're able to go on the vitamin C, the Nutrifuron, the probiotics, the Vitalized protein, because we know that when they are taking in protein from their diet, they're also taking out the carbs, and they're taking out the high sugar, and we know that sugar really feeds viruses, and it's just
good point.
And they say, the reason why actually more people, you would think it's the cold weather, which I'm sure adds to it a little bit, but they have actually found the reason why a lot of people are more sick is what happens from tomorrow until December, at the end of December, is that our sugar consumption is Halloween. And then we have Thanksgiving and pumpkin pies, and then we have cookies. And I mean, talk about a sugar overload. And I will tell you, having that protein in your house is incredible. The other day we had a birthday party and we had all these different things that my daughter, and it's fun to give her treats every once in a while, but I also knew she was missing that protein that she really needed, and it was just so nice to make her up a meal shake at the end of the day, knowing she would be going to bed with at least some good nutrients.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
I love sharing with people about our vitamin D because our vitamin D is so inexpensive, and so many of us are deficient with that. So that's great. That also makes a really good gift. I think it costs $7, $8, something like that dollars, and a lot of people take vitamin D, and really it's very affordable. So that would get you all the way almost to 100 PV. That would be 94 PV. For children who can't swallow pills, the Optiflora caps, and I always probiotics are so trendy now, so I always make sure when I'm talking to somebody, I ask them, did you know that a lot of probiotics are destroyed by our stomach, acidity in our stomach, and this is what makes Shaklee's unique. And then I talk about the triple encapsulation, and they're amazed. Oftentimes they're like, wow, I never knew that. And the chewable C, which you can get, that chewable C lasts our family so long because it comes in 300. You get 300 of them, and that will last your family quite a long time. Plus, kids love chewing them, and it's great. And then the Incredivites. So that would be a mini collection bringing you in 52 PV. And then we have adding on the protein, which I already talked about for kids. I cannot tell you how much my daughter just loves that protein and asks for it every single day. And you can sneak in spinach, you can sneak in flax, and I even crush up my Nutriceron, vitamin D, and then I pierce an Omega Guard for her, and I put it all in her smoothie, and you would think it would taste weird, but she still loves it. She still loves it. All those things.
I want to ask you something. That little factoid there that you threw in about the Optiflora and probiotics being destroyed by stomach acid, when you just threw that in, is that a Facebooky thing that how you share that with somebody, or are you in a conversation with them?
Either one. Just recently, I knew of a dear friend of mine who I know she's on a different probiotic, and she had told me she was interested in Shaklee, and so I just shared with her about what makes ours unique. But I've also done Facebook posts where I've had a picture of that actual triple encapsulation. You can just Google it, and I'm sure you can find the image. And people have commented before on it. That was actually a post that got quite a bit of comments on it because a lot of people are on a probiotic nowadays. I mean, it's even before I was introduced to Shaklee, I was taking a probiotic. So
okay, so I want to underline that for everybody, because one of the things we're going to talk about in a little bit after we show you these collections is it's something that professional salespeople call upselling, but in our world in Shaklee, we feel like one of our jobs is to educate our customers about Shaklee products they don't know about yet. And so we have like some questions that we're going to give you to invite somebody to know about another Shaklee product. And what you just did there about, by the way, are any of you using a probiotic now? I just learned something very interesting about probiotics. 90% of them are killed by stomach acids, it turns out. And that's your post on Facebook, and say, that must be why, since we've been using that Optiflora, the kids haven't been sick haven't gotten colds and viruses all through this fall or whatever. That's a little post for Facebook, but it also can be a phone call saying, I'm calling to ask, do you ever use probiotics or have you heard about them? The reason I ask is, and it can just be these little factoids that you share with somebody, and next thing now they're using the Shaklee probiotics, and then the next time you do it, it'll be another product, and before long, people's confidence about all the Shaklee product line keep increasing, and so they know that they can trust anything Shaklee makes. That was a great little thing you threw in there. But those are the ways we keep increasing our volume and helping people learn and use more about Shaklee products. That was good example.
And Probiotics are definitely one that people immediately notice a difference with. I think I have maybe 8 to 10 testimonies I can share about how when they switched to our probiotics, it changed. In fact, I love sharing about my cousin who was 80% blocked up. He almost needed surgery. He was taking probably 7 to 8 different things that he could get over the counter that were not helping him.
Laxatives? Wow.
Yeah, different various things like that. And within 3 days, he started being able to use the bathroom.
Yay for that.
And then also the alfalfa was the other one, which for kids that's really good because they're getting some extra greens in their diet, and also you can crush it up for them. You can make tea. You can put it in yogurt, applesauce smoothie, different things like that. So when we break this down, and let's say that we were to talk to 5 people a week for a month, so for 4 weeks, that would generate 1,000 PV right there just by doing our immune collections. Or that would be with the 50 PV immune collections. Or if we did 10 people during the month at 100 PV, that would generate 1,000 PV. So very doable when we break it down. I can talk to a couple people a week about this, especially because people are already desperate and wanting different things. And another great one is that Vitalized Immunity. People just love the taste of it, and it works amazing. And there's a lot of testimonies with that too. So now we'll talk about
Katie, and I was just going to say, this is Joe, I was just going to say, we're fortunate because on the news, with all of the stuff on Ebola, people are really tuned in to having a stronger, better functioning immune system. And so, it's 5 people a week, not 50 or 500, just 5.
Right. And who wouldn't want to have something that they can be proactive about, so they're not just waiting for the other shoe to drop. And that's what's so lovely, is it makes you feel like you can be a bit in charge. So it's really nice. But little numbers, but they make a big payoff. Okay, so now some conversations about how you can open these discussions.
All right, so there are different ways. A lot of times, like we were talking about, people are already just talking about it. So people are already complaining about, being sick or their kids being sick, and that just easily can lead into a conversation. But also saying something along the lines of, with the weather now turning cold, I wanted to contact my customers to be sure they knew about a few products that can help with preventing the cold and flu, but also have some ready in your house in case somebody comes down with something. May I tell you about them and asking permission to share? And they will say yes. Sure, I'd love to hear more. And then you are able to go into the immunity products and talk about those, or you could also say something like, tell me about the cold and flu season for you and your family. How does it affect everyone? Anyone that has fall allergies. So asking questions, asking a lot of questions to generate a conversation. And Shaklee has 2 collections for the immune system, one for adults and anyone who can swallow tablets, and then one for children as well. Even getting into discussion with somebody about, the importance of talking about our food and watching, a lot of Netflix has Food Inc. and different documentaries on how our food is just made differently nowadays and how it's really not an option to supplement and why. And getting into that conversation is also really interesting. But nowadays, a lot of people are understanding the importance of supplementing. It's just a matter of them understanding how our products are different.
Very nice. And so you can see how easy it is to get into that conversation. So imagine that it's the 28th of the month, and you have a PV goal, whatever it is. You can post on Facebook. That's okay, but then you've got to wait for someone to make a response. But if you phone people and you just with that little dialogue that Katie just whipped through there, and you say, with the weather turning, now I wanted to contact my customers, be sure that they know there's a few products that really can be helpful for both preventing colds and flu, but also to have at the ready in the house just in case someone comes down with something. That makes sense to people. And the fact that it doesn't cost $1 zillion, it's like, say, and so I'm going to be putting in some orders. Would you like to hear this? Here are the ones that we like the best in our family that have really been helpful for us. That's a lovely thing. And even if you're leaving that message on an answer machine, you see, that is something that I think people respond well to. Okay, and then the closing, Katie. Oh, and let me set this up. I got an email from Christina Yowzi, love her, and she said, my little tiny, what does she call it? My little tiny team, my little tiny Shackley team was having a conversation, and we realized that no one has taught us how to close conversations, and close. We know how to present, but we don't know how to close and help people move to action. So we wanted to give you just some phrases that may be helpful. Go ahead, Katie.
Well, I also want to add, too, that Barb, you gave me the advice, I think it was 2 winters ago, of keeping a little mini stock, too, of those immunity products on hand, so that a lot of times you're going to get calls or texts from people once their family's already sick, and it's nice to have those on hand as a backup. And let me tell you, it came in handy last winter, and I need to do that again this winter. So closing, when we think about closing, if you have a family member who don't eat 6 vegetables a day, which not many people can say they do, you might want to get a good multivitamin to be sure to cover all of the nutritional bases. And Shackley has a package that you can get for strengthening the immune system. And here's the first package. Probiotics, 70 to 80% of the immune system is in the gut. Who knew? The vitamin C, this is a really good one. It's a sustained release because our body can only absorb so much vitamin C at once. So it fully releases the vitamin C over a period of 5 hours. And then a really important one is Nutrifuron, and I am taking this daily now. I used to take it every once in a while, but with all these viruses and everything, that is one product that I will be taking daily this winter. And it is a special formula for herbal extracts that stimulate the body's own natural production of interferon. Have you ever heard of interferon before? Have you ever heard of the key components of your immune system? That's a good starting place. So how does that sound? And making sure to ask how all of that sounds. It's a good way to close. And also, can I help you? Another way, too, is can I help you get started? Would you like me to place the order for you? A lot of people just don't like ordering themselves, and they would prefer you to do it for them. In fact, I was at an event recently, and a lot of people were saying that they prefer somebody else to order. So setting them up on auto ship, allowing leadership access so that you can go in and change anything that they need. A lot of people just for whatever reason, would just prefer you to order, so that will help, I think, eliminate any of the trying to get the order when they've committed, but yet they haven't ordered yet. Hey, can I just help you get started? I'll place the order for you. I place everybody's first order for them. So, and that takes some of that pressure off, of them and you, because you're just helping them get started. So,
And you can see why this is such a successful approach, because you have a reason to call people, a reason to reach out to them. You have a very clear message and conversation, but then you're offering them a very reasonable package that we know they're going to get results from. So you've just taken kind of the wonderful, wonderful world of Shackley, which it all is, but you've brought it down into a focused, I think, simplified way to communicate an option. So you have the problem, you have the solution, all right, wrapped up in a very, I think, neat conversation. So this is very, really good stuff. Nice job, Katie. That was awesome.
Great.
All right, so let's look at another couple of product collections, and let's start by looking at the Shackley Turnaround Kit. So when we're talking with people, and we're going to give you some dialogue, because I know the first thing everybody says is, how do we talk about people with their weight? I know, so we'll get some ideas out there. But if you look at the Shackley 180 Turnaround Kit, and really as we're sharing with people and we're talking to people about these product collections, if you're talking to someone and you've had dialogue and they want to lose 20 pounds or more, this is a great place to start. If you get 5 customers on a turnaround kit, that's 200 PV each, that's 1,000 PV. So just imagine that's 1 or 1.5 customers a week. How you do that, I don't know, but it just came to me. But that's not a huge number, and we know there's people out there that are wanting this solution, and we know that the 180 program works. So it's a product collection that we can have a conversation with people about. And then there's the Lean and Healthy Kit. And this is going to be fantastic for anyone who has a few pounds to lose, 5, 10, 15, or they want to just lose a few inches around the waist. And that's a big one. And that's, I think, even an easier lead in to talk to people. But it's 100 PV on auto ship, 10 customers at 100 PV, that's 1,000 PV. So again, and what I love about this pack is you're bringing them into the best nutrition for the rest of their life. So you've got the Vitalizer, you've got the 180 smoothie. It's a great way to live their life on a fantastic foundation. So it's ideal. It really is. And I know that all of us that love Shaklee, we use a similar program, but it's a great way. So just finding a way, how do I communicate that collection to people, right? So then there's a couple of mini collections.
You know what? Could I just point out something? Joe, would you go back one slide? I was thinking about what Christina was asking about closing the sale, and love the way you expressed that, Lisa. And one thing about closing, if you hit somebody with a $260, if they say how much is it, and you say $269, what's your reaction?
Ooh,
that's a lot, right?
Yeah.
But this is why our job is to frame things to help people understand what that actually is. I was just doing some quick math, but that comes out, so you help them understand. You say, that comes out to be about $65 a week. That's about $9 a day. And this is where people would say, tell me, do you take meals outside your home? Ever? Do you ever stop at Starbucks? And about what do you spend there? You see how when we often say the questions that you ask guide people's thinking. And so you want to break that down. That is a deal. Most people are spending lots more than that on things that are not going to get them slipping into their holiday clothes. And boy, I'll tell you, to be able to lose 1 or 2 inches before the holidays, I would easily spend $65 a week on that. That's a good incentive, right? So this is part of closing the sale is about being a problem solver. And helping to interpret for people, break it down so they can understand what that means. Sorry to interrupt, Lisa.
No, it's really a good point, and I'm glad you made it, Barb, because it truly is an exchange. People are paying for food that's not necessarily meeting their nutritional needs, and it's certainly not helping them meet their weight loss goals. So you take that exchange from that food and you put it to Shaklee. It's very cost effective, but it helps them reach their goals. So go ahead, Joe. What were you going to say?
Well, you might just even tell them that it's $9 or $65 a week or $9 a day first before you give them the $269.
Yeah.
96.
So we had a clever little builder in our group that when this product line came out, she went and she did some research about what the average family spends on food, and she got it from, I can send you guys the email if you want to attach it, but she got it from the U.S. Department of Agriculture or something like that. And she broke it down, and she actually showed how the average family is spending this much money on food, and if you take 2/3 of that and you put it toward, you actually save money on your food budget, and that's not even factoring in eating out and all the fluffy things. So you actually can save money by going on this program. So your point, Barb, is kind of brilliant, because the truth is it's all about perspective. This is not extra money people are having to come up with. This is them making some pretty smart choices with the money they're already spending. So how about that?
Nice one.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so now we can talk about the mini collections, which I was very excitedly running into, because here's, again, some great concepts and provides us with some good ways to communicate some ideas. So the first one would be the muscle retaining collection. It's kind of smart because it tells you exactly what the 180 smoothie does. But look at this, 2 cans of smoothies in a month. It's a great way to maintain muscle, and it's about 50 PV. So that's a wonderful thing to talk with people. Fat burning collection. You got your metabolic boost and your energy tea, 54 PV. So again, if it's a great way to say, hey, there's some mini collections. Would you like to look at those? And then look at this one. This one's pretty smart and kind of goes back to the conversation that Katie was having about this time of year. It's getting colder outside. We're spending more time in the house. We want a little bit more comfort food, and we want a snack, and we want to kind of eat throughout the day. So we tend to go to the things without thinking, as far as the carbs and the muffins and and the chips and all of that stuff. Well, what if we had some healthy snacks around the house that were cost effective and they were really good for us? And so we've got some snack bars, some meal bars. I'm crazy about the white chocolate cinnamon ones. If I could just get my chocolate chips to be evenly dispersed, I would be like so happy, so happy. And they roll off every now and then, so I've gone to more than one meeting with a white chocolate chip on my butt. But
it's built-in exercise. You have to bend down to pick up the chips.
Yeah. But is there really? Yes, go ahead.
Well, I also have to add, I bought a bunch of bars and meal bars and snack bars because we're about to do a long road trip. And I will tell you, we are probably going to save a lot of money on not having to, and the time of, just going, you can't find a healthy, really fast food when you're on the road. And so just to be able to, have those in the car ready, and my daughter loves them too. In fact, sometimes I have to hide them from her because she wants to take them all. But she loves those snack and meal bars too. So.
Yeah. It's so true. And if you get in the habit of having one or two in your purse and then in your tote bag and then in your car, it saves me so much internal conflict of being hungry and not wanting to spend money and seeing McDonald's and there's the dollar menu and all of that I don't even want to go to. It gives me a beautiful out, and they taste great. So
they're so good.
They are so good. So again, I think part of one of the things we're trying to share is a conversation about it. You're having a conversation. We're not having a sales pitch, but we're saying, hey, this is what I'm finding, and this is working. So let's look at some conversations. And you can see, I love this line. So I think, Joe, you might have came up with it. It's really good. I'm calling to ask. Okay, Barb, it's really good. I'm calling to ask who you might know or that might be interested in dropping 1 or 2 inches off their waist before the holidays. Another way to do this, and I can totally do this honestly because I got a little fluff right in the front of my body. I've got a little belly. I can say, I'm looking to drop 1 or 2 inches off my waist before the holidays, and I'm looking for some people that kind of want to join me and create a little support group. This is what I'm going to do.
Nice.
So the big fear about the 180 program, we're just afraid of people thinking that we're calling them fat. And you don't have to do it that way. You can just say, I'm looking for some people that might want to increase their muscle mass and trim up a little bit. That is not insulting. That is kind, and people will identify with that. So I think it's a great
probably
strategy.
Inclusive. That's everybody. Right.
It kind of is everybody except for the rare ones that are working so hard they don't have any fluff at all. So, and then you can say, I'm asking because the Shaklee 180 program, have you seen any of their before and after photos? Or have you heard any of their testimonials? It's so exciting, and people are really good. And the thing that I'll naturally say here is, and the part that's so amazing to me is I always hear people telling me how good they feel. And that's because it's so nutritionally founded, it's so well designed. And so, so you're just starting a little conversation. We hear repeatedly that people lose inches and go down a dress size. That's one of the coolest things, and that's one of the reasons these before and after pictures are so amazing, because you can see the change in the composition of their body. So you can talk about the loosing. It helps build the muscle, and it burns fat. And, of course, we know that one of the greatest pieces of that is then when you've increased your muscle, you've given your body more capacity to burn fat, which is a gift and helps us not get on that yo-yo cycle, right? So this is a brilliant idea, and this is one of the things we want everyone to consider. We are offering a special promotion this month with some nice discounts on this product. So what we want you to do is to get creative and think of ways to offer collections and to communicate about collections, but that will also maybe do some specials. So we'll talk in a little bit about some different ideas of things you can offer, but it's always more comfortable and fun to call someone if you can offer them a little something in addition. So not all the time, but just something to think about. So. All right, and I think I have one more slide with the 180, right? Okay, so look at some more dialogue here with the mini collections. We also have several little mini collections with this program that are real targeted, and we find people really like them. And so here's the little dialogue about the weather turning cold and snacking, and I have a chocolate thing. I don't know why I think chocolate's going to make me be warmer, but it just seems I keep trying. Anyways, would you like to hear about them? And then you quickly can go through them and talk about them. And Barb and I were talking last night, and she mentioned it, but it's so such a good thing. Do you know that 1 pound of muscle burns 50 calories a day. 1 pound of fat only burns 2. So it kind of makes sense mathematically to increase the muscle, reduce the fat, because what you're doing is equipping yourself to be in a better way tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day, right? So I think we just want to get comfortable having conversation, and then we can talk about the tea, and the tea just happens to be my favorite product. I'm absolutely crazy about that tea.
Yeah.
I love it. And I'll tell you why. Because there's another piece of the tea that has a little bit of a calming effect. I can't remember what that ingredient is, but there's an ingredient that helps people settle down. Yeah, and I need to settle down sometimes. My brain goes fast, and so being able to just drink something and relax, increase my energy, but settle my brain, it's good stuff. So, and then you can see the third package helping us stay away from the potatoes and breads and noodles and cookies and all of that stuff that's yummy but doesn't really make us happy. So, some ideas.
That's very good. And so the point of that slide there is that be ready. If you're going to teach people about a couple of other products, just be ready to say how you feel. Did you notice both Katie and Lisa, when they're talking about these products, Katie said about Nutriferin, this is one, sometimes I only take it if I feel something coming on, but boy, now with all this conversation about infections and flu season and so forth, I'm taking it every day. That is a very powerful thing. That's her why that we talk about. And Lisa just did it with each of these. You pick the products that are very special for you and tell them why you use them, what you like best about them. So I picked these, but you could pick any, that are important to you, that this time of year that's important to you. Okay, go ahead.
Very good. And again, I see we got some dialogues to help us close. So here's what's going to happen. If you're having a conversation and you've kind of brought down that discomfort and that wall of talking about weight loss because you're identifying with that, people are going to open up to you, and they're pretty much going to tell you what their goals are. But if they don't, you can say, a lot of times what I found is that if someone's looking to gain or to lose 20 pounds or more, they really do love going to the Turnaround Kit because it gives them very solid success and a very easy program to follow. But a lot of times, if they just want to trim up and they don't have a lot of weight to lose, the Lean and Healthy Kit. So I'm having dialogue. What I'm doing is I'm offering them some solutions that might fit with what they are thinking about. So, and then of course you may want one of the mini kits if you're just looking to increase that muscle, or you're giving them some places to go. And I love that this was put in here. It is a good time of year to set up some 180 tasting parties because it is natural for people at this time of year to start. And again, Katie said it. They start to know and worry about what's going to happen to their weight because they know what type of season we're moving into, and it's pretty neat to offer people some solutions and options for things that taste good and that really are going to help them reach their goals in other areas too. So a tasting party is a great way. I'm just going to throw this in because it's in my head. I heard a couple of our leaders talking yesterday about some different parties they're talking about as far as the holidays, and they want to have like a Christmas time, beat the stress, increase your immune system party, and focus on that. Well, you could certainly tie a 180 party into the holidays time, a holiday 180 party to keep yourself fit and feeling good and strong and healthy, So anyways, just get creative, but it's a great way to build 1,000 PV, and that's the whole point of what we're talking about. So next, Katie.
Well, and also in 2 weeks, when we do our social media Thursday training, what has been really successful with a lot of people is the 5-day reset where they do 3 smoothies a day. And so we'll talk more about that in 2 weeks and what that looks like. But a lot of people are looking for a reset program where they can, after they've indulged, have a way of, just getting their body reset. So we'll talk about that in a couple weeks. But another product collection, which is really popular right now, is for brain health. And there are 7 million kids who have ADD and ADHD. So this isn't just for adults. A lot of times we think of protecting our brains and mental age and different things like that for adults, but this is also a really big issue for children. In fact, we did a Natural Approaches to ADD and ADHD half-an-hour conference call that we have the notes for just recently, and that is just a wonderful way of even just inviting people onto a call to hear more about that. But with the MindWorks that we talked about and all the promotions going on with that, I'm so thankful that we have extended free shipping on that and free membership. You do 2 of those, and then one of the Vital E that would bring you to 94 PV. And just recently I was at a family event, and there was a joke about my sister-in-law who said the same thing like 10 minutes later, and she goes, "Oh, I totally forgot. I need that MindWorks." And we were it opened up a discussion about that. But a lot of people are really concerned. And not only did she have a history in her family of dementia and Alzheimer's, but also her husband did, and our family does. And so it's just amazing. You really can't meet somebody who doesn't have a concern for that. And people are worried because I had my grandfather or Sam's grandpa, who passed away from that, and it's really very difficult for loved ones to see their loved one not remember them and not be able to take care of themselves, and it requires assisted living and different things like that. So that MindWorks product truly is something that a lot of people have been interested in. And also, we know that B-complex and omegas are also really good for the brain, and vitamin D. So you can do, if somebody perhaps isn't able to afford MindWorks, you can break it down for them and do this collection, which would bring you to 52 PV. And for children, what's really important for them is the Mighty Smarts, because of the omegas and DHA, which are really important for brain development, and Incredivites, vitalizing protein, because we know protein is a building block of our body, and I know for me, when I have my protein, it helps me to better focus and concentrate. And when I'm not having enough protein, I feel like, well, your sugar does fluctuate in your body, so you do kind of have more trouble focusing. And I've heard even stories in Shaklee before where they've done where they had their kid eat a snack bar while they're doing their homework, and they've just watched their behavior change. Wow. And I definitely can believe that, when they're given the right stuff, and then the probiotics. So that would bring them to 78 PV, which would be about 80 PV, and if you had just 12 kids, that would bring you to 1,000. I think Lisa's talking about some opening conversations with brain health.
Right. So, again, this is just a great thing to talk about, and one of the things you could do is you could talk to people and say, I'm working with a team of people, or I'm working with some ladies, and we're offering people some information on ADD and ADHD and different things they can do, and invite them to join a conference call. Or you've got all these wonderful options, a Facebook event, but it's a great conversation, and I'm just going to throw in here, I haven't done it this year, but I've done a series of talks at local MOPS groups about children's brain development. It is something that parents are aware of, and it's important. So it's a good conversation to have with families about kids. It's a great conversation to have with adults too. But you're just asking people if they would like to come hear about topics on how to have a healthy brain and healthy brain function. And so I'm kind of working to create little mini meetings right now in the home, like a mug and muffin is what I'm playing around with, but something where people come in, we have maybe a 45-minute conversation about brain health where I'll talk about Shaklee nutrition but focus on MindWorks and stuff. So here's some conversations.
Nice.
You may have been seeing information regarding the new product MindWorks that Shaklee has. We are so excited. This product has been really effective, and the reports that we are hearing from people are just so inspiring. We're hearing things about memory and cognitive ability, quickness of mind, focus, moods. It's really cool. And one of the neatest things is happening is we have an opportunity for it to be on the Dr. Phil show in November, which is going to be very fun because so many people are going to get to hear about it. And so, again, I'm just bringing this into people and having a conversation about it. And so I say, one of the things that Shaklee's doing is they're creating a nice promotion around the MindWorks product, largely because it is going to be on the Dr. Phil show, but because people are really excited to try something that works so well. So you can then go through the details of the promotion, and really then talk about Maria Shriver and the different contributions that Shaklee's going to make to brain health research. So You can say, do you know anyone who might be interested in that or want to learn about it? Would you like to try it or would you like more information? I'm always asking people if I can get them more information or if they have any questions, because it helps me lead to the next step without saying, are you ready to buy it? You know what I mean? But they will be.
Ooh, that's nice.
So, all right.
I'll put that one in there.
I think I just took your slide, Barb, didn't I?
No. That was the one from the pre-call. That was perfect. No,
okay.
But the Dr. Phil, it's just a point that the Dr. Phil show just gives us another reason to call people and say, this product has been so effective in just the first couple of months it's been out that already it's being featured. We just found out on the Dr. Phil show in November, and I want to make sure all my customers know about this. Or if it's someone who's not a customer yet, that I want to make sure that my friends and family, because I don't know the realities of your family, but I've had too many friends who have had elderly parents and relatives who have suffered from dementia and Alzheimer's. And if it is possible to help even one person to delay that or prevent it, that would be a worthy goal. And so whatever your reason is, you tell people what your reason is for calling and how you feel about that. But gosh, we all hope we could live till we die, right? And in terms of our health and in terms of our brain, because that's who we are. So whatever your reason is, that's a nice place to talk about it. Just gives you a reason to call them. So here's some other upselling ideas. Lisa, go ahead.
Right. So, and I remember, I think it was Dan Henderson said it on one of these trainings, but he talked about the information flow. And our job is to bring people into the information flow. And this is what I see when we're talking about this. And it really is just developing a good habit and a process of reaching out and educating and offering new product ideas and thoughts to your members on a regular basis. We know everything we have is fantastic, so it's our job to help them know that it's there. And it's amazing to me how many people are members of Shaklee and have no idea. Here's an example. I had a gal who stopped by yesterday to pick up some Scour Off. I actually got her as an Oprah lead way back in the day, and we had never really fully connected. She didn't return my calls and stuff like that. And then she said to me, I didn't know Shaklee had vitamins. And I kind of choked a little bit. But, gee, that would kind of be my job. And I tried. So, but anyways, now she does. So I've done good. So here's some ideas. Immunity Fizz or Vitalized Immunity, you can talk about that. I think it's really a great product for people to drink because it tastes good, it's easy, and when you're not feeling good, it's kind of a treat to reward yourself. The tea, do you ever look for a pick-me-up in the afternoon or to start the day? Energy Chews, this is a fantastic one. I think Katie's going to talk about how this is going around on Facebook right now and that great little thing that Barb wrote up, so I won't go into that, but it's a great way to just come up with a conversation and topic to introduce a product that's really good. And then the dry skin thing. So in Colorado, this week has been the week. Everybody is itching with dry skin because it got cold. And I have no hand and body lotions on the shelf. I have people calling me. I'm desperate. Literally, I'm desperate for lotion. And our InviCell hand and body lotion is different than others. It absorbs quickly. It's not stinky. You don't feel greasy. So there's a few really great point of differences that we can share with that product. And once people use it, they just don't want to go without it. So I'm going to have to order 6 more because it's great. And then Get Clean. So here's a neat thing. Are you aware of the concerns that are coming out right now about the dangers of toxic chemicals? My goodness, the articles I've been seeing just on Facebook in the last week have been really good. Have you ever used a green cleaner? I'm just curious. What do you think about that? And then enter into a conversation about Get Clean, which that is probably one of the easiest product lines to promote because there's not a single downside to it. It's just amazing. So So there's some ideas.
Good.
I think, a key, and hopefully people don't miss this with all the information we're giving them this morning, but every month, we're now at the end of October, make a decision for November. What are to call 5, 10, 15 customers and tell them about one of these products. If people just started doing that, they would start to see results.
Even today, imagine if you called someone today and tomorrow, and you said, oh my goodness, it's the end of October, and I just realized there's a great promotion that ends tomorrow, and I'm not sure you saw it, but have you ever used the Shaklee cleaning products? They are incredibly economical. The average family saves easily $200-300 a year, and they're very economical. This month, they're offering free shipping and free membership for anyone who buys that starter kit. Who do you know who has young children, who has pets, who has allergies or asthma, who might be wanting to use safer, more natural cleaning products? This would be a great time for them to get started. There's something about deadlines that give you a reason to call and say, I want to make sure everyone knows about this before the end of the month, blah, blah, blah. That can be very helpful. But you're right. Make it a habit to every month be ready with 2 or 3 products that you can tell somebody about, and now introduce them to that product. And you look back over 6 months, and you're going to see those little 20 PV products here and the 50 PV little collections over there and so forth. That shows up in your overall PV big time. I want to make a comment. Charla had a great idea. She said, when you were talking, Lisa, about the immunity, I like to call it immunity fizz, is that she said she calls people and says it's the time of year to stock our, what does she call it, winter medicine cabinet, with natural products, and that is a concept I think people get. Very good, Charlotte. Thanks for that idea. Go ahead, Katie.
To add, I am probably like a lot of people that cannot. I don't like coffee. Well, maybe not a lot of people, but so I am so thankful that we have an alternative to being able to still get energy without having to drink coffee. And I love the Energy Chews. And in fact, there was just a report recently from the National Transportation and Safety Board that drowsy driving causes an estimated 100,000 accidents a year, resulting in 6,000 fatalities. And saying something along the lines of, that is why I keep the Energy Chews in the car at all times. And especially as we enter the dark days of this year and it's more challenging to stay awake, and also it gets darker earlier. And what I love about the Energy Chews is that they don't just give me energy, they help with focus and alertness. And that's because they have B vitamins in it, and they also have amino acids in it for alertness, and they have vitamin C and D, and it provides also a little bit of caffeine from green tea, but it's only equivalent to a cup of decaffeinated coffee. Wow, I didn't realize it was that little. And it's never dangerous levels as seen in the mega caffeine drinks on the market. Also, you can, like we've been talking about and Lisa talked about with the tea, having the tea available. What I love is that you don't have to spend the time, getting your kettle all warm and boiling the water. You could just easily drop that while you're on the go. You can have it hot or cold, and that helps also with energy. And a lot of people, as we enter into this cold season, are going to be looking for more ways to get energy, and these are very convenient for people to just stick a couple of those tea sticks in their purse or have some Energy Chews on hand, and sharing your story with them, sharing why you love them. Also, right now until tomorrow, the best deal ever with all of the cleaning kit you can get. I think it's $3,400 of cleaners for $99, and you get free shipping and free membership, so that can be up to a $40 savings. And you could even throw in a special incentive, and Lisa's going to be talking about some of these incentives that her team has created. But one that I saw recently came from one of my friends, Carrie. She had a $10 Starbucks gift card as a gift for you, and I know Susan Knott has done that as well before, and it's a nice little treat to give somebody, remove your home attractions, and I'll even treat you to a nice cup of coffee or whatever, like frappuccino, whatever they want to get, and that's a great way of an incentive. People love incentives. People love free things.
Was this a Facebook post, Katie?
I don't know if she made a Facebook post. She might have. She texted it to me, and so I'm not quite sure what she was going to do.
But she could have put it in her blog. She could have put it on Facebook. Yeah. But it just shows you the kinds of things.
You go on a postcard.
Yeah, and that Energy Choose one also. It says get the idea, and then there's a lot of different ways we can put it in front of our customers.
The Starbucks gift card, though, is a great incentive.
Clever.
Yeah, people love that.
Yeah,
it's true. And along those lines, and this is just kind of a separate note, but it kind of fits into being creative and creating some neat promotions for the group. I have a couple of leaders that when they share the Get Clean starter kit with someone, they say, and if you buy the starter kit and you have a bunch of toxic cleaning products in your home, I will pick those up and I will bring them to the local recycling place. Because I don't know how it is in other places. In Colorado, you have to dispose of those in like a hazmat way. You can't just dump them. And so it's
interesting.
Well, it's illegal, isn't it interesting? Yeah. So it's kind of a neat service that they provide because helping people they don't know what to do with those products. They feel bad about having them. They don't want them. And so I just think it's kind of a neat service that people will offer too. So,
nice.
Again, it's just getting creative. So this page here is talking about different little things that you can offer and create yourself. Now, when I joined Shaklee, and I know Barb and Joe remember this, there were no company incentives. There were none. So we created our own. And this is so funny to me now because one of the things I did is if someone signed up with a Get Clean kit, I paid for their membership. Or if they bought an InfuCell kit, I paid for their membership. All these great things that the company is doing for us now. Mm-hmm. So we are living in a wonderful age. Let me tell you guys, we're living in a wonderful age that the company does fantastic incentives for us to utilize, and we don't have to create them all ourselves. So I want you to really take advantage of what the company's doing, but sometimes it's nice and it's good to create something also for your group. And it's fun to communicate about it because I'll say that to my members. I have created a special little incentive just for my members. It makes it kind of special.
Yes.
So here's a few ideas. Now that Shaklee's especially giving away the free membership, we always give a free scour off with the purchase of the Get Clean kit because we love the scour off. It's a fantastic product and it doesn't come in the kit. So I get people more excited about getting that free scour off.
I know. It's a great product,
well,
too.
It smells so yummy. And so that's one we always do. It's kind of a standard thing. All of our people do it. A lot of times we'll do a shipping rebate because we know shipping can be a touchy thing. Now, I tend to think we more than cover the cost of shipping for the different things that we offer, but it is a nice thing to order. So 2 times a year or so, I'll put out a promotion to our team where everyone who orders 100 PV is going to get a shipping rebate up to. And I usually cap it at $10 or $12 because I've got some smart people that will go together and order like 6 boxes of 14-pound laundry detergent. I'll be paying $100 in shipping. So I cap it because I have a limit. But anyways, here's one I've done, and I've done this at Christmas time, and it's been a very big hit. I've done a drawing. Drawing is a great way to build a little excitement, but you have a little control over how much you're giving, so you can control the money piece of it. And I've done for every 50 PV ordered, unlimited. If you order 300 PV, you get 6 entries. If you ordered, whatever, for a drawing. And sometimes, one time I was trying to get people interested in a new product line, so I gave a product away. One time I did a Visa gift card for $100. But if they used it to buy products for me, I gave them a 10% discount on their order. So I ended up moving products. I always like to get PV for my promotions, Yeah. But it's just to build a little excitement. People want to order products and they need that little extra nudge to do it, right?
And free products can be, Vita D3 is a great product.
Yes.
Scour Off is a great product. There's so many that are economical, but they have not used yet. It's very nice. I love the idea.
And it allows you also to then offer them information maybe about a product line that they're not familiar with. I love giving the Herbal Blend Cream, the multi-purpose cream, because we have this wonderful list of all these great things it does, and it's just such a unique, and it smells like Search, so I get to tell a story about how it reminds me of my grandpa and all that. So, it's just a fun thing. So you can just create some neat things to do. And we've talked about this. I give a product credit for anyone who's a hostess, so they get a product credit for each of the guests. But if I have someone that refers someone to me, or they just give me a name, or we do a one-on-one, I'll give them a little something. The vitamin D3, a Meadow Blend bar, a lip treatment, just a little something. To let them know that I appreciate it, And so those are just things to think of. And then, of course, we have this, again, we're so lucky we have this gifting program that Shaklee offers us through the back office. And so a lot of times people refer someone to me, and I'll just shoot them an email and say, that was so awesome of you. Thank you for sharing with Jenny. On your next order, you're going to get a free product from me. I love you. Thank you for being a part of my group. I had a gal who lives in New York who is going to have a baby, and so I just threw a baby lotion on her order and said, so excited about your baby coming. On your next order, you're going to get a baby lotion from me. So use the gifting program. It's kind of smart. You save a ton of shipping that way. Idea. So just the little ideas. Get creative. If you get creative about something and then you get excited about what you've developed, guess what? You're going to run with it and you're going to promote it. So just put a little creative time into that, and that's good. Katie.
So we also have an idea for a 180 event that we came up with a couple weeks ago, and that was to have the catalog for everybody available and ask them questions like a scavenger hunt, and then whoever finds it first gets a point or a raffle, however you want to do it, and then the person, it gets entered into a drawing to win whatever you want them to win, protein.
That is so clever. That is so clever.
You could, for example, you could say what makes or how much protein is in a 180 smoothie. And so then they have to look through it, and they're finding out, it's got leucine in it, and they're finding out all these other things as they're trying to find the answer. So it's just a little game you can play with people for an event. Also, we have two, Stephanie will be talking next week about how she leads with the business, and she is she's a fast track senior director. So she was able to promote a director this month, and she is also fast track, and she is on fire. She has an incredible story of what she's been doing, but a lot of what she's been doing is what we call leading with the business, and what that means, and how when we lead with the business, it allows people to hear the opportunity. And a lot of times when we just lead with the product, and if somebody's not interested in the product, you're left with nothing. But when we lead with the business, you're giving them that opportunity, but then they also can get the products if they're not interested in the business. And so Stephanie will be sharing more about that. And also we're just going to mention, I think that Jennifer, which is her director that promoted this month, was at a restaurant at Chili's, and the waitress was sneezing, and she had really bad allergies. And so all she said was, I have something for you to help with it. It's called alfalfa. And she pulls out her alfalfa.
Oh, my goodness.
And, it gets better. And the waitress takes it, and she ends up feeling 10 times better in 10 minutes.
Oh, my
God.
God.
Came back to her and said, what is this? Tell me what this is. Started talking to her about that. Started telling all the other waitresses and Chili's, and now she is building her own business. All because of that.
Only in North Carolina. Oh my gosh.
That's trusting people in North Carolina.
The point is, though.
However, she just took the opportunity to see somebody's needs, to ask them, hey, do you want to try this? And we all know that our products work very effectively, and it did, and it all worked, and she is now building a business, and not only that, but she's sharing it with all the people that she works with
that's
who
precious.
who know her story. So.
Sure.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you know, there's a lot of us out there that would be so tempted to set up the one-on-one and have the full presentation. Let me explain everything. No, she just pops it out and says, "Here, take this."
I got something for you. Oh, mercy.
Keep it simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just the idea I was mentioning earlier, and it came from Linda Causey, who we've become aware of people getting results or being more tuned into the changes that are happening to them after 2 months on MindWorks. So we're going to attach an evaluation form where you can send that out to somebody and tell them that you would like to get their feedback after they've been on MindWorks for 2 months. And I think it's just a great way to get people into the habit of using MindWorks, and also letting them know what to expect. You know, that this is, they may not get, immediate results. It's going to be more subtle changes over a period of time. So this is another great way I love what you said, Lisa, about the communication flow. Mm-hmm. And this is just one more tool or resource we can use for that.
Well, and you know what you could do, since we're thinking promotionally, you could say, and anyone who takes the time to fill out this little, feedback form on MindWorks, I'm going to give you, $5 off your next order of MindWorks, or a rebate. You could certainly tie it into something a little bit fun and promotional there too. So, boy, that Linda Causey, I'm so impressed with her today. That's amazing. Okay, so action steps. Choose a product collection to promote. Learn a little bit about it, get comfortable, practice talking about it, and start to reach out to people and share that idea. Make your list of people, prepare the points, and any promotions you might want to build around that. It's totally up to you, but just different things that you could be excited about that will make it more fun for you to talk to them. Remember, and I love this about today's session, that just contacting 5 people a week for 4 weeks can introduce 20 people to Shaklee and generate 1,000 PV, but many times it'll be more than 1,000. If we could only quit spending so much time thinking about how much PV we don't have,
Oh,
start talking about people. I tell you, I think, how do we transfer that energy? Because it's so true. I only need 1,000 more PV. If I just had 1,000, well, look, 5 people a week. It's a great idea. Consider practicing your conversation with your accountability partners. Again, and this is a joke in my group, but I always have cats all over my desk, and I give my cats a lot of presentations and a lot of pretend phone calls. I need to practice, and they really like it. So my cats think it's a great conversation, but just practice. Get the language out, verbiage out, so that you're comfortable in your skin. And then set a November goal. Those 25 sponsoring points is a great goal to set. We'd love to see you get some fun Tiffany stuff and increase your PV by 1,000. And I know that, and I'm just saying this, but I think it's a good idea. I know that we've had everybody, if you've promoted a director, send us an email and let us know that you promoted a director. But I would love if someone focused on a collection and they increased by 1,000 PV. I would love if we could get an email on that too. Mm-hmm. It would be really fun to see how you guys are doing with it.
And then we would like you to come for a visit.
That too.
Okay, there are a number of comments. Thank you. You have some great comments. We've got to figure out how all of you. Hey, Joe, look at the top there. See where it says show answered questions. Oh. Anyway, we're trying to figure out a way for you to see each other's comments because they're so good. But
Barb, before you do the questions, I just want to, I have this slide up on the archived webinars. I'm getting a gazillion emails asking me where things are archived. So if you would just take this, take a note as to where the training webinars are being archived. If you tell people about them, please give them the information as to where they are archived, or if you send out an email blast to your group, make sure that they know, because it's getting a little overwhelming for me to be answering all these emails individually.
There we are. Oh, you remembered to put the slide in there. Very good. I made myself a note about that. Anyway, okay, a couple of great questions and comments. Someone was asking about where can you get Facebook ready posts, and that's what that service called Hearsay Social is for. And you can subscribe to that. It's not expensive. In fact, when you buy a gold kit, don't you get a free subscription to that for a month? that gives all those
yeah.
Facebook posts. Yeah. So Hearsay Social provides Facebook posts for you. So that's all a service that's all ready and to go. And you can subscribe to that right at the Shaklee website. And then, oh gosh, I forgot who made I think it was Shyla, made the conversation, the suggestion about all those cleaning cloths that Shaklee has in their Get Clean line, including that blue sponge. She said there's nothing like that with the little scrubbies on it. So
yes, I agree.
Lots of great ideas for gifts. And then, Joe, we didn't mention it when we were whipping through the slides, but we have 2 attachments we're going to put on. One is top 10, what is it, Lisa, top 10 reasons
to take Nutriferon?
Yeah. Pam Huffman, who's a listener on our call, she found it on the member center, and it's really, really good. So I just put it into a document, and we've attached it. But it's what a great way to talk.
We'll attach that one, and then they also wanted you see, if you mention something, Lisa, then you're going to...
I know,
and so you mentioned that little herbal blend use sheet, and
okay,
so we will attach that also.
It's good.
Good. Okay, and so, but I love the idea of inviting people to set up their winter medicine cabinet with natural product. I think that's a great idea. And some people, now, we were just giving you examples. Someone was saying how important performance is, if there ever is, people get...
so true.
Vomiting, diarrhea, that is one of the best ways to rehydrate the body immediately. That one's great. You can make a case for garlic and defend and resist. We were just giving you examples, but we have so many good products for that.
And people should just make up their own 50 and 100 PV collections that they have some energy around, and then promote those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then someone else was saying that you can take a screenshot of slides by clicking on a little camera that's in the lower corner, which I have never seen, but I am glad to know that. Oh, there's a camera up there. Okay, I see the camera. So you can click on that apparently and take a screenshot. Well, thank you, Eileen, you genius. Oh, boy.
I don't see the camera.
There's
it's
a
in the
button
upper
on my computer that I push.
You know what? You have to make it smaller than a full screen for the people watching it. You have a full screen up because you're using the slideshow. But if you weren't on the slideshow, you would see it. Okay.
So, Barb, why would you recommend Optiflora and Incredibites? Because doesn't Incredibites have the probiotics?
No, I don't think so. No, the one that has the probiotics in it is the CitraBoost.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Incredibites is.
Yeah. There's the substance that is in the mother's milk. Is that what you're thinking about?
Yeah,
the
lactoferrin.
Yeah, is that maybe? But yeah, but no, it's amazing when you put kids on Optiflora what that does for their immune system. Besides the fact that most kids have been on an antibiotic at some point, but yeah, that's a big help. Good. Okay. Anything else? Oh my gosh, there's so many comments here. Thank you for all your comments, by the way. We start at 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, but we come on 10 minutes beforehand, so that's when we have a pre-call, if that's what you're asking. And then Katie, I wonder if Stephanie Bruce is going to be one of our guest speakers next week, and those questions that they ask in their open book scavenger hunt, I love that idea. They would like a list of those, but I don't know that if there is a list that it exists, we'll give it to you next week when those folks come for a visit.
Here, Molly Pratt says that the bars are a lifesaver and money saver for airline travel, which is true. And then another idea: we cut the white chocolate bars into little bites, put them in a container on the counter for quick pickup snacks.
That's a great idea. Yeah, then you snack on those instead of a chip or something. And
then Sandy Dietrich said the 4 smoothie pack is a great way to save money, lose weight. They're only $2.40 per meal at MN price on auto ship, and doing two smoothies a day.
Catherine was mentioning that we can also, Jerry was mentioning that we can also tell people about CogniFit, which is also another. So you can pick any.
That's right.
We were just giving some examples today, but you can pick wonderful ideas like that. That's a good one, Jerry. Is to say, do you know when you purchase this MindWorks? I think they said that CogniFit to subscribe would be, is it $12 a month or something in that range, and you get that free every time you buy about. That's another good selling point. Good point.
We are not. Pam asked if we're going to send these collections via email. No, you'll have to wait till they're posted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's why we make the PowerPoints for you. We write it all out for you, so you'll have it right there. Okay. Also, a couple of people have mentioned that they've had sound issues, Joe. And Marilyn told me last week she had no sound at all.
Oh, no.
I think it's got to be the individual computers. There's
so hard to listen to without sound.
It is difficult.
I know that I'm here for my brilliant observations.
Yeah, but she understands extra sensory perception, whatever the thing used to be called, ESP. So she just kind of goes into meditation, and she has
how hard that would be. Dear.
Okay, let's see. Did we catch?
Patty asks, is it free shipping for anyone who buys the starter kit, or is it only for new members? New members,
yeah. Nice try.
We've all wished.
Okay, so the postings you have up there right now.
People give $10 gift certificates.
Oh, Jerry Baker said that the email she got said that this started at 10 a.m. Central. We're going to have to check that.
I thought it said Eastern.
Okay, we'll double check it. Yeah. Okay. Jeff says, no problem. Sound has been perfect. Thank you, Chris. And Greg said, remember, people can always call in. You can use the, you can come into the link and log in. And you notice how we've had to learn new clicking, and the links come in different now. It looks different. They don't know why they've changed that. And but you can always call in on the audio. Good point. Thank you for the reminder.
I realized one week I didn't have sound because my computer was on mute, so they might want to look at that too. My volume is down, so make sure their volume isn't down on their computer.
Cute.
Those details.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point, Richard. Thank you. So get online so you can see the screens, and then call in on the phone. Good point. Okay. Oh, Barbara Hobel-Smith says camera feature is not available on Macs. Oh. We're learning a lot about technology here. Okay. Okay, we have nothing to do with the listings on on your reminders things. That comes from GoToMeeting. Lisa, I know we don't have control. Okay. Jerry says she sends out a monthly newsletter and writes 10 or so questions on topics in the newsletter. If they send me the answers, they get free shipping. Oh, what a genius!
Ooh, great idea.
Clever.
That
fun.
Is. Oh, we gotta capture that one. We gotta put that on a slide for people.
Yeah.
You've got such great ideas. Greg says me too. Jerry is a genius. Okay. Jerry is a he. Oh, thank you, Jerry. Oh my God. Are we a women's group over here or what? Thank you, Jerry. Guy.
I get little feed in on my phone while we're doing this, and I got a text from Linda Bennett that says the PV on the 180 kits is a little lower than we said, so I'm not sure. I
know. You know what? I pulled that off of. Anyway, there's a variety of PVs between we'll get it all straightened out, but the concept is what we're going for. You get, right, guys? Is that we're going for the concept of...
It's one more person, I think. Instead of 5, it's 6 people,
Yeah, but the idea is they're little numbers that then show up in a big way for you. So
way.
very
Yeah.
good. Thank you for the correction. This is why we love analyticals. If you were on our 4 personalities, you understand we need you. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then there was one more thing that Richard said, something about smartphones. Oh, I've lost it. Oh, Judy says for Max to copy the screen, do Command, Shift, and a 4. How am I going to remember that? All right. Thank you, Judy. That's a good idea. And Mac peeps can do Command, Shift, 4. Oh, Carol said the same thing. All right. So apparently you learned that at your Mac lesson. Command, Shift, 4. Okay, that's very good. Okay.
I got an interesting Facebook question from someone. It's Marge Carter, and she said, how do you know how much you can post about Shaklee on your personal profile page? And my best, and you know what, this is going to be a great conversation to come up next week, but Marge, just to answer your question real quick, my best advice is create a business page and ask people to like it, and do most of your Shaklee, like 99% of your Shaklee posting on your business page, but then sometimes you can share it to your personal page, but it gives you that room to share great Shaklee information, but feeling like you're being respectful of your personal Facebook profile.
And see, and when you share it, this is what these young moms have been brilliant at. When they share it, it's not a commercial.
Yes.
When they share it, they'll say, they'll make a picture of Energy Chews and say, "Thank heavens they arrived today." I don't know what, you know, after a day at the zoo or something like that, or I was up all night with so and so or whatever.
Right.
And it's just an oh by the way.
They're living their life right there.
Living their life. Right. Exactly right. They're really good at that. And we're going to be giving you some examples of the kinds of things that they post so you can see how they do that, and just say, oh, that performance was so wonderful. I'm so glad my friend, thank you, Katie Odom, for sharing that information about the performance hydration drink. My little one is much better today. Thank you. I mean, it's real subtle. And then somebody emails back and says, tell me about that performance drink that you were talking about or whatever. It's like that.
Yeah. One of the best things ever in this whole wide world about Facebook is really smart, creative people create posts and then you can reuse them. So I find the most brilliant pictures and posts and conversations that someone has done, and then I share that. And so I don't have to be creative at all. I just have to look for smart posts, you know.
By clicking the share button.
I love it. I
learned the share button. That was my new accomplishment for the month. Oh, you guys are wonderful. Thank you for all of your comments. And Jerry, thank you. We love it when guys join us. And Richard,
yes,
thank you. And Jeffrey. And we're starting to get guys that we're trying not to make it so much of a women's circle. But who was it that they feel like they're on The View?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we appreciate you. We just have to figure out how you all can see each other's comments because they're really good. Thank you, everyone. So next week will be, you're going to hear about the Facebook events from Moira and Susan. You're going to hear from Stephanie Bruce about how she leaped to director in 8 weeks with Facebook. Her first 6 people she sponsored, 5 out of the 6 became distributors. And so I said to her, wait a minute. And then I said, well, how'd you do that? She said, well, I just said, maybe you'd like to be a distributor. I said, what? And then I find out, and she said, well, yeah. I said, well, then what did she say? And then I said, I want to know the whole dialogue. And she said, well, I have it because the whole thing was on Facebook. And I said, what? You have never talked to these people? Oh, I just, well, it'll be an interesting call. We have a lot to learn next week about that.
Great.
It'll be good. So see you all then. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a great week.
Bye, Katie. Have a good trip, hon. Bye-bye.